content of the meeting. Cool. I think we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first official live. We did do this one time before and we couldn't figure out the live stream, so it did not go live, but it will be uploaded. Of the shit show where real people have real conversations about real shit that matters, and say that 5 times fast. So super excited to be here with you guys today. This little brainchild was born out of really just, well, there's four of us, but the three of us here today, we just really have a lot of interesting and fun conversations. And we thought it'd be cool to invite the audience to engage with it and also maybe think about some of the questions that we always are asking each other or ourselves. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. It was my turn to pick the topic. So just so you guys know, I'm going to tell you the real truth of what we're doing. The real truth is we don't know what we're doing. Each time we do a shit show conversation, we're going to give somebody else the lead of the mic. And that's cool because we just all think so differently. And that's what's so beautiful about the conversations we always have. You never know where they're going to go. So it was my turn to pick. And I was like struggling with what the heck to talk about. Like, should we do AI? Should we do marketing? Should we do business? There's so many amazing conversations that we can have. But one of the most transformative things that I've done for myself and with some of my girlfriends, excuse me, shout out Karen Wheatley, this really was born because of you, is every time the month starts. So there's a new month, like day one of the month, her and I would always send a text to each other and say, Happy New Month. Because it's like a reset. It's like this refresh, reset thing. And what's cool is that has evolved into a reflection of like, all right, let's look back at the last month and take a minute to take stock of what happened and also what that taught us. So today, I want to invite the audience and Amber and Morgan to do a real life new month reflection, even though it is June 10th. So there's 3 questions that we're going to be asking today, and we're basically going to do a hot seat style. So I'll put one of them on the hot seat. Actually, I was thinking about this. I think we're going to do one question at a time. So the 3
Okay.
questions that we're going to be asking are question number 1, and again, we'll put this in the show notes for you guys. What made you feel alive, aligned, or grateful in the month of May? Question number 2, what challenged you last month and how did you respond? And question number 3, what kind of growth are you craving this month? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And let's just go for it. Let's start with question number 1. What made you feel alive, aligned, or grateful in May? And who would like to go first with that question? Not
Okay, I
me.
Go for it,
guess,
Amber.
yeah, I guess I'll start.
Yeah. So why don't, if you start, Amber, just pass it to somebody and then we can go to the next one. Does that sound good?
Yes, it
Okay.
does. Okay,
Beautiful.
so, well, for those who don't know me, I'm Ambar. And right now I'm living in Spain, but I'm from Venezuela. And I've been here for a few months now. I've been traveling. I started traveling the world because that has been like a dream for me for so long. And then when I finally decided to like take the leap and start doing it, because I was like very scared and it was not an easy decision, but okay. When we finally like it got the time, I had the opportunity to start travel. I had this in mind because I work as a virtual assistant. Yeah, so having this opportunity of supporting myself, my family, and also have this opportunity of traveling and still working in the middle of the whole thing was something that I was like so excited to try and to do and just experience. So something that I if that has been a like incredible like a blessing, and I'm very grateful, and I felt it like so much last month was that I got the opportunity to travel more with some family and friends, and I was able to work and travel and enjoy the whole experience because I was afraid that if I was going to travel and do this, work and laptop lifestyle thing, that's how I call it
Mhm.
now, it was going to be like too difficult for me to actually like complete my tasks, be responsible and all of these things. And I was so surprised and grateful that I actually got to do it and like test it and it worked. So yeah, last month was incredible. I got the chance to go to France and it was amazing. That's one of the countries that I've been dreaming of visiting and seeing with my own eyes and experiencing the life there and all of that. So I'm very grateful that actually worked. Like this whole lifestyle that I've been trying to build for myself and all of
Hmm.
these things that I've been wanting to do for so long. Yeah, I got a taste of it and it worked and it was like incredible. So that's my biggest win, I think, for last month. And I'm very, very thankful for it. Yeah. How about you, Morgan?
That's awesome. The laptop lifestyle, is that what you called
Hmm.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So recently weather has finally gotten nice in Michigan. So I bought this big like raft, which is you can like turn it into a little pool. And I worked out in it in my with my laptop last week. I didn't put water in because that just would not end well. But it was so nice to be able to unplug from the desktop and be able
Mhm.
to take the laptop outside. So I like that. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Morgan Ekovich. I'm an online personal trainer, nutrition coach. I am also a business coach. I help you organize your business and systems. But what made me feel alive, aligned, or grateful in May? So today, when Jamie sent these questions, I went all work related. May was a very long and busy month. Amber knows that very well because she helped me create a lot of the stuff for this. So first thing was selling out our summer strength training boot camp, which was in-person classes. I haven't taught in person in a really long time. And if I have, it was with a gym who did all the promotions. So my goal was 10. I hit 10. So then I made the goal 15 and I ended up with 14. So to me, overall was a success. And then we also had two events that one of them I got to just kind of be a part of. She is a doctor, so she called everybody a practitioner. So we did that for Mother's Day, which was successful. It was a small turnout, but I got to have at least a half hour conversation with each person, which was awesome. And then me and that same doctor hosted another hormone and strength training workshop, which was super fun because we went back to one of the gyms here locally that I used to work at. And the first half of the 2 hour workshop was actual strength training, and the second half was like her talking about hormones. So it was a good, fun pairing. And it was just great to be back in person with all of that. And to know that the networking that I've been doing really since probably this time last year, I think I'm going on about a year of being fully in two networking groups, has really paid off. So that's been really awesome to see. Jamie, how
Love that.
about you?
It's interesting how we all interpret these questions. I think that's also one of the fun parts about this exercise is you can just take it whichever direction connects with you. And for those of you, if there's anyone tuning in, answer it in the comments. Let us know what made you feel the most alive and aligned and grateful in May. And I love that you both shared goals that you had that you achieved, goals that you had that you achieved. Both different but similar. My answer was um, there was a moment. So I did a float trip this year, this May. I went on a hiking adventure last year called the John Muir Trail. It's a 211-mile hike. And during that adventure, I met these two women. We oftentimes, when you hike, you have similar or different paces with people. And these two gals were leapfrogging our group. So I got to know them and we instantly connected. I mean, it was like, we're on the trail, we're having a conversation, and like we all start crying. Like it was just, we just connected on a very deep level very fast. So I'm like, these are just my people, even though I probably in total spent 2 hours with them, like throughout the whole month of leapfrogging. And so one of the gals had the idea to do this float trip and she invited me. And my normal reaction, I'm an introvert disguised as an extrovert. I say no to things like this because it's outside my comfort zone. I don't know what to expect. But I said yes. Very different for me to do that. Come May, when this trip took place, I realized I was not very prepared because I had no idea what river we were even going down. So I did some super quick research. But the moment that made me feel aligned and alive was so fast forward to the end of the trip. I I got up early every day out there in the backcountry and I you'd boil your instant coffee. So you'd boil your coffee and there's something about crappy instant coffee in the middle of the backcountry that tastes incredible. Like it's like this divine luxury to have. And so I woke up early to get my coffee. I spooked a herd of deer. The entire trip, I saw deer tracks, didn't see a single deer. And I was like, oh, I want to see a deer in the desert. How cool would that be? And there was a herd of 20 of them. They ran away. And so I got my coffee and I tried to follow them. So I was like tracking them. No one else was awake. It was super early. And I found this big boulder and I just thought, I'm going to climb that thing. So I got on top of the boulder and just sat there and like was looking at the valley and the cliffs that were far away and the river and just thinking, wow, like I'm here right now doing something I never in a million years would have ever thought I would do. And like, this is my life. And in that moment, I felt very grateful to myself for saying yes, to them for inviting and creating the adventure, and just like kind of just to be alive. I felt very alive in that moment. It was a very simple moment, but like, yeah, I won't ever forget that. So that was my
Did,
answer to that.
did you ever fall off your paddleboard
Huh.
with all your
Question number
things?
two. I'm going to take on question number two right now because it answers that question. What challenged you last month and how did you respond? So, this is same adventure. I'm a little bit of a type A control freak and I do a lot of things. So, I'm last minute planning a lot. And so, it's a pattern I'm recognizing. Number two, what challenged me the most, this was supposed to be a 52-mile float trip in the backcountry, no road access. And we were going to do it on paddle boards. And I don't know how to paddleboard. Yeah, I can figure it out, like whatever, right? So we got this paddleboard and I had never used it. So I got down to I road trip down there early so I could test it. We had forecast for 50-mile-an-hour winds. And I'm like, okay, this is my test. I need to get on this paddleboard with all my gear and not die in a lake first. So I got out there with the lake, got on the paddleboard without the gear, thinking I'm gonna just see if I can even like do this. Literally 2 seconds, like it took me and I wanted to go over here and the wind took me over here. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, oh no, 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 no. So I immediately was like, there's no way I can do this trip on a paddleboard. I'm not qualified enough. I'm not competent enough. Although my two compadres are going to paddleboard camp, I really, my gut said, don't do it. So I paid the money with the tour guide that dropped us off to just rent one of their kayaks, which I was confident in my
Oh.
ability to do. So yeah, I didn't paddleboard. In hindsight, I would have fallen off the whole time. I had the wrong board compared to what they had, and I don't have the experience, and the wind was awful.
Mm,
So
Mm.
for me, it was the right call. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Um, I enjoy
Oh, did I not? I
paddleboarding,
didn't
but
tell
you're
you, huh?
right. It's so easy once that wind comes in. Because, like, if you do paddleboard a lake, one way the wind helps you, the other way, like, you have to go back into it at some point.
Just for context, this was a very funny moment. As soon as we launched, like you're nervous, right? Because you're at the launch site. The guy has
Mm.
his truck and he hauled the boats to that launch site, and then he's gone. And he's like, "Don't call us if you get in a jam. Call the coast or the emergency rescue people because we won't get you." I'm like, "Okay, bye." And it's windy, and the girls went first in with their paddle boards, and they went upriver, and they're like, "Oh, it's this way." And I said, uh-uh. The water's flowing that way, guys. You're going up the river. We got to go down the river. But they thought it was the other way because the wind was that strong. It was pushing them up river. Like it was
Oh, wow.
a little crazy in the beginning.
Oh
But
my
yeah.
goodness.
So I
Wow.
would say what challenged me was like that whole mental part of making the decision to almost it felt kind of like failure-y. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like I'm not going to do what they're going to do. I'm not good enough, all those things, but it was the right choice. And so that was a big challenge, mental hurdle for me to get over. But so I'm going to pass it back
Yeah.
to you, Morgan. What challenged you last month and how did you
Um,
respond?
well, with all the in-person things of promoting, honestly, it was growing my podcast. Last month was probably the lowest month I'd had for growth in the podcast in a while. And it's because there were so many in-person events and selling the boot camp that like I didn't have the bandwidth
Yeah.
to promote the podcast. Like it was going out, all the things were happening, but like the extra promotions that like I know, like sharing it to our local Facebook groups, doing all those things, like I didn't have the bandwidth to do it. So it just got put on the back burner. Um, which the thing that challenged is like trying to have really fun things going on, but not make it confusing for people because like I didn't plan the Mother's Day event. Mother's Day happens in May. And then we planned the workshop because that's when it flowed nice before summer happened, before kids were out of school. And then knowing that summer was coming, we had to, you can't just like run a boot camp and not promote it. So like there was a lot of moving pieces that all overlapped that I felt like the things were successful, but from the outsider seeing all my stuff, they're probably like, you're a fucking ping pong machine going all over the place. And I don't know what is happening. Like, where can I find you? What are you doing? You do online stuff. You've only talked about in person this last. That was the big challenge, like putting the past, try and keep things not confusing to people.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up on that before we move on.
Yeah.
My first question is, how do you know it was confusing to people?
Because it was confusing to me. And it was confusing to my mom, who would be like, "So what is happening this week?" Like to people around me who know what I do, who I
Yeah.
talk about it frequently. So, and I don't know if there's a way to not make that happen when you have
Mhm.
so many things and you're involved in other people's. If I was doing it solo, then I think it would have been more clear to say, this we're running up until it doesn't start till this date. But when you work with other people who are also cross promoting all the events, it's like, it's just very confusing. And I know that too when you see something on an event and it's not clear, or you're like, oh, I thought it was the state and it's the state type of information.
Just felt like a lot.
Yeah. And
So
May
how
felt
did you
like a
handle that?
January month. Well, I let go of of focusing on the podcast. I just let it go. Like
Yeah.
gonna do what I was gonna be able to do, but other than that, we were just gonna wait till June and try again
Hmm.
because because there's only so much you can do. And yeah, people only see a certain amount on social media. Like they only see like 2% or something. So if that means they only see one of my posts every week, let's say at max, like which one are they going to see? I'd rather have them see the in-person events that are more short-lived and a limited time offer per se, instead of something that's really always there. Like the podcast is, there's always a new episode coming out each week. There's always like, so that's always the background type of situation.
So when you let go of it, what were you able to truly let it go? You know what I mean? Like mentally?
Oh yeah, I just took it off my task list.
Check. Not there.
I was like, move to June. We'll focus on this then.
I think that's a good concept because how often, like, we all feel so responsible to do all the things all the time, right? And in the letting go, it really frees us up to, I guess, expand ourselves in different ways. I think that's a pretty powerful lesson for people of the power of letting go, but not just saying you're letting go, actually let go, you know? So I was
Right.
curious if for you, like, is taking it off the task list the thing that makes it completely off your mind and no weight on your shoulders or anything like that, you know?
Yeah, because I knew my email, because we built the system beforehand. So I knew there was an email going out to my email audience that was automated. I knew if you were subscribed to any of the podcast channels, you were getting a notification if you were already a listener. And I knew we had at least two reels going out per week to promote the podcast. If I shared it on my story because I had the energy, great. But if I didn't, not a big deal because it wasn't an active task that I had put on my list for that month. Because also, when you promote to local groups, there's only so many things that you don't want to get cluttery on those. You still want to
Hmm.
offer value. So it was trying to find that balance in between all those.
Love it.
Yeah.
Amber.
Amber.
I'm there. Well, actually, my challenge this last month is something kind of related to what you're talking about, about letting go. And in my case, more than just letting go, is also learning for me how to pause when I'm
Mhm.
doing too many things and I'm putting myself last in my to-do list, because that's something that unfortunately still do. And something that at least I'm now conscious, like more conscious of, because I knew that I was not completely like things were not moving the way I would like them to move, and for me to actually organize my schedule in a way that I'm also included in that
Mhm.
schedule, in that to-do list. So that's something I think that I shared with you a few weeks ago, that I was trying to organize my blog. I have a blog in Substack, and it's something that I really like, that I really enjoy, and it's something that I want to, do every single week, promote some, not promote, and publish something. And I was getting behind on that, and I was like, no, last year when I started, I did it for like consistently for like 3 months, and then life happened, and I stopped
Mhm.
completely until I got back to it this year. And I was like, I'm not going to do that again. I don't want to do that again. I started this because I really enjoy doing it. I really like sharing things, helping other people, and I was like, okay, if I actually want to make this work, I have to, you know, put myself in a position to say, okay, yes, my job is important. Everything that I do is important. And I love all of my clients. I love the job that I do, but I also love the things that are for myself. So
Mhm.
that's one thing that I was like, okay, I need to start learning how to pause. I can pause the clock and say, okay, this task is going to be finished in just 45 minutes later, after I finish my workout, after I get a nap, after I do something, go to the balcony and see the sun or something. So yeah, the challenge was that I was like so like focus on the things to do this, but for everyone else's businesses and lives and stuff. And I was like, and what about me?
Mhm.
So yeah, that's something that it was really, really good to know, to actually see like, okay, this is happening. And I accept that this is happening because of me. No one is putting, a gun on my head saying you have to do this because you have to do this and finish it at this time or anything. Like, no, I'm the one organizing my whole thing, my whole life, all of
Mhm.
the tasks, my time. So if things are not working the way I want them to work, it's because of me. So yeah, that was huge for me. Really, like, just like, okay, you have to take it, better care of yourself, girl. And yeah, how did I respond to that? Well, actually, I asked for help. I have to ask for help because there's some things that, I won't be able to solve myself. And I will need someone to tell me, like, hey, this works for me, so maybe you can try, or give some advice, some tips, something. And that's what I did. That's also something else that I'm learning, like to ask for help when I really need it, when I really don't know what to do, and I know that someone else might have that answer. So yeah, that's what I did, and actually got very good advices from Jamie. So thank you, Jamie, because you're
You're
awesome and I
welcome.
love you.
I love you
And
too.
yeah, it's actually been working now, and yeah, so that's also another thing that I'm very grateful for about last month, that I got the help that I needed because I actually asked for it. So that's huge
Are
for
you
me.
open to sharing what has shifted, like what's worked for you?
Yeah, I mean, you asked me something like in the creativity side, like I wanted to write more and I was not writing enough, for my blog. That's one of the things that I was struggling with. Besides everything else, that's one like the main thing that I was like more focused on. Like, I want to solve this first.
Mhm.
Yeah, and what I did was like paying attention to what you said. Like, what are the more like the times that you feel more like open creatively? Like to write something that ideas come to you, and then you have like kind of like a block of time to actually write them or talk about them, send a noise poll to yourself or something like that. And actually started doing that. I created a whole Telegram group for myself, and I have like different
Ooh.
tabs where I start sending myself things, and I'm like organizing them. These are topic ideas that I want to talk about in the blog. These are topics that I just randomly come to my mind. I don't think I'm going to write about them, but I just want to like
Yeah, get it
write
out.
them and get them out. So that's the other thing. And yeah, all of these things. And yeah, that's it's been huge. It's been funny. And sometimes I text to myself, I feel like I'm going insane because I'm
Do you
doing this.
respond?
Yeah, sometimes I do. I'm like,
Yes, you're
it's
going
okay, girl.
insane.
Yeah, just gonna say, but everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. So yeah, doing that has been a game changer, really, for me. I really love doing that, and I feel kind of
Awesome.
like more organized that way too, because I have all of these little tabs, and that's something that I learned from Morgan's group because she has a group, and then it's divided into different sections, so people know different things, like not in the same main group, but in like different tabs. And I was like, "Oh, you can do that in Telegram," and then I just
I didn't know
started
you
doing
could do
it.
that. You
Yeah.
guys got to teach
Well,
me this.
yeah, we'll have to show you. It's amazing. So yeah, let us know if you want to know this trick because it's actually amazing and it works. Like organizing things on your mind, but having somewhere, to put all of that things there. I just yes, it's amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, the Telegram groups, I know I had you tested out for me, Amber, because that's where I'm doing my accountability for our boot camp is in
Yeah.
just Telegram to keep everybody's privacy of phone numbers. And so that you can have it a little bit more organized than just a normal
Mm.
text strain. So it is cool. I noticed though that I can only do two categories like in a group before I have to upgrade to premium. So I don't know if I maybe created it incorrectly, if there's a way to get around it so you can have as many categories as you want. Or yeah, I have to look into that. Or if you figured out a way, Amber, I want to see it so we can figure it
Yeah,
out.
I have three now, like the main
Okay.
ones, and yeah. Yeah, but it's funny. I'm still like my whatever I wanted to talk about today. I was like texting to myself, like
Yeah,
this is what I should talk about and say
I'm
something.
right.
So, yeah,
Do
yeah, and because
you
Telegram is so
did you
useful.
identify your time of day that you're most creative? I was curious
Oh
what is
yes,
your
it's
creativity time? I'd like to know that from all of you guys.
yeah. Yeah, for me, I've realized that I am more like active at night. That's why I'm not a morning person. I've never been a morning person unless there's something very important that I have to do in the morning. I won't wake up and get up the bed like, you know, before 10 a.m. or something. I will be very happily in my bed. But at night, I will be doing
Uh-huh.
so many things, and then I will
Mm,
finish work, and then I will start learning Korean, and then I will start writing, and
Jeez.
yes, yeah, all of that, everything happens for me at night. So I was like,
Funny.
okay, I think this is my time to do this.
Mm,
So I was like, okay, after for example, the last thing I do before going to bed uh, is learn Korean. Yeah, that's like my block for Korean learning for my sessions. And
I'm
then I
amazed
was like,
right
okay,
now.
I and then I will like shut the computer, the organize things, and I will be like, okay, now that I'm like free of all of the duties that I have, I try not to think about as duties because I really enjoy what I do. But yeah, say put it that way. And then I will just go to bed and I will start like kind of thinking to myself. And then I will start creating things and just talking to myself. And that's where I start getting all of these
Huh.
ideas and like, oh, whatever happened. Oh, this is actually something that I will talk about. And then I will start writing. But on my
Cool.
phone, that's what I do with
Yeah.
the Telegram, the chats. And then I will, because I have Telegram in my computer too, I will just start copy paste, and then organize things in Substack into a draft of things that I want to talk about. So yeah, for me, and it's right when I'm like feeling relaxed in my bed.
Hmm.
Like I know I'm not going to fall asleep
Hmm.
because I don't fall asleep that fast. But I will be like there, like relaxing and just thinking about my day, kind of like doing this reflection of the day, and then I will start thinking like, "Ooh, something happened," or I saw something in X, Twitter, or I saw someone posted something on Instagram, and then I will start thinking about it, and something will
Hmm.
come out, and then I will start, "Huh, this is interesting," and then I'll start writing. So yeah, that's like my time. My creativity
Cool.
time comes when I'm relaxed in my bed, trying to fall asleep.
I love that. How about you, Morgan? What time is your creative juices flowing?
I'm the most productive in the morning, like tactical in the morning, and then Ideally, if I could do a workout like at 10 or 11, and then usually Amber will get a content dump from me somewhere between 11 and 3 is like if my schedule allows, like 11 to 3 is probably like when I don't have any meetings or clients, like that's when I can sit down. I have the energy to film. I hate filming in the morning and I hate filming at the end of the day. So like that 11 to 3 when it comes
Mm,
to filming content.
mm.
Writing content, never. I hate writing. But filming content and like doing the copy for after the video, that right there kind of all falls in between there. But like the static, in case you missed it email that I do every week, um, there's not a good time. Every time it's like, okay, what happened this week? What this week is the most relevant that I feel like would be the most impactful? That it's hard because there's so much in a week's time frame to narrow it down. So I think that's my long form content, like Amber is talking about. I don't do very much of it, so it's hard to keep it narrow, but also it's an in case you missed it email. So there's supposed to be a lot of stuff in it. Trying to find that balance, but never am I like, yeah, I'm excited to write that. Like, no, I'm excited to like tag the Instagram post that we posted that I thought was really cool, or like share the live video that we went on Thursday.
So, like when ideas come to your brain, it's usually that 11 to 3 window, would you say, after workout?
I guess I have to schedule everything. Like I literally have to schedule tomorrow. I already told Amber I'm doing social media. So all day today, I'm prepping myself to be in social media creativity mode tomorrow.
Ooh, how do you do that? How do you prep yourself today for creativity tomorrow? That's a great,
I tell
interesting
Amber
thing.
or that she'll have content for like that's what let her down. Like, hey, you're gonna at least starting to get some content for July tomorrow. And then it's first it's making sure my calendar actually has a time block of 3 to 4 hours. And then after that 3 to 4 hours is when I'm like, okay, I have that. Now I get to the day before and I'm like, okay, is that time block still work? Is there anything on the task list that actually needs to take priority over that tomorrow? No. Okay. So I block it out and then I tell Amber and then I just am like, okay, for the next like 12 hours of social media, I look back at what she's kind of created as idea. I look back at everything I've saved and I then think, okay, tomorrow, what outfits did I wear last time so I don't wear the same blue shirt and black leggings in every single filming because that is the only outfit I wear. So it's like just thinking through like what do I want to do tomorrow? What types of workout videos haven't I done? What movements haven't we done? Um, and in that time, I like look back at videos I've already pre-filmed. For instance, like me getting groceries and unloading them last week. I was like, okay, how can we repurpose that in a creative way? So kind of like getting into it, but it's not like a sit down and structured. It's just with intention on social media, essentially
Hmm.
leading up to the filming.
Hmm. And I hear accountability is helpful for you too. Like by telling
Yeah.
Amber,
I
it's
was going to
happening.
say that she uses me to cringe hack.
And then I'm honest. I'm like, and I will be fully honest with her when like today didn't go according to plan. You
Yeah.
will have social media. You will not have social media. Like I will be fully honest with her, but it's at least that accountability to myself of like,
Yeah.
you committed to something, and she'll never ask me if I don't follow through. She never asks me, but she just knows that I know, and that I eventually after 24 hours will be like, oh shit, I didn't do that. I will come clean on what I did not follow through with.
It's funny.
How about you? What's your
Yeah.
creativity
First
time?
thing in the morning. I get up. It's funny. I love this time of year because the sun comes up so, yeah, that's a weird. Okay. Geography question. What time is the sun rise where you guys are? Like light. Amber has no idea because she sleeps till 10.
So
I
my
mean, I think if I think about it, it's kind of like in between 6:30 in the morning. I
Okay.
think,
Okay.
that's
but
about
maybe it's
ours too.
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's no, I'm further north than you guys. So for me, it's like 5:30, 5:15, 5:30. But I
Okay.
literally am up with the sun. Like, do not set an alarm at all. And the sun comes up and I'm awake and I love that. I love it. So I get out of bed, I'm the first one up and I do my coffee, go on the porch. And I sit outside and watch the world go by. There's always critters everywhere. And I try to meditate, but meditation is like Jamie's brain's on ping pong mode. I'm just like idea. Wow, let's create a million things. Today I went in to talk to Scott and he's like, "Can you talk to me after I'm out of bed?" Okay, I remember. Yes, sorry. So yeah, for
That's so
sure.
funny.
It's got there.
Hey, what's happening, ladies?
Hey, the
Uh-huh.
shit
fourth
show
It
is
host.
wouldn't be
happening.
a shit show. It wouldn't be a shit show if I didn't show up late. Oh my
Well, we're
God.
happy
I
to see
swear I
you
saw
here.
something that was 1 o'clock, but
It happens.
yeah, I know what you mean though. My wife she loves to wake up in the morning and want to just like go over what the agenda is for the day.
Mhm.
And I need an hour. I need an hour.
Mm,
Just need an hour. Need some water, need some time. Yeah, same way.
that's funny.
I don't.
We're
That's funny. I wake up and I'm like, okay, it's 9. I still have until 10, and people is sleeping. That's what I think. You are 6 hours behind me, and I'm like, no
yeah.
one is going to respond to me if I wake up at this time. If I do something and if I have a question, I'll still have to wait. So I can just keep sleeping. You know what I mean? And then the funny thing for me is that I wake up and just like Jamie and Summer, I will start thinking, okay, I have to do this and this and this, and I go over my entire agenda and I see,
Hmm.
okay, I have to do this. So I will start with this, and I will start then with that, and then so I
Yeah.
don't have anyone to tell him, like, hey, this is happening, but I know that I will do that eventually.
Yeah, it's fun. So we've got 13 minutes left on our clock here. So I'm going to move into question 3 and we're starting with Scott Zare because he's here. Question 3 is and if we have time, I want your 1 and 2. What kind of growth are you craving this month?
Hmm.
Welcome to
Oh
the shit
man.
show.
Yeah, it's the shit show. Yeah, I mean, I think some of these projects that we have going on, whether it's this platform, whether it's in my professional life, but really I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk about the growth at Maplewood Suites. Like that's what
Mm,
we have a lot of fishing poles out there right now. And on one hand, I'm like, this is great. Prospecting is fun. On the other hand, there's going to be an oh shit moment if we hook
4 at once.
more than
Yep.
one, and we're going to be struggling. And so I've been coaching the team up like for this to happen. Like I've been a part of those situations before, and it sucks. And we've got buy-in. I had one of the owners tell me, he's like, Scotty, like, don't think you and Jeff have to do all this on your own. Like, I will get done roofing. I will come over. We will bottle syrup. I don't care if it's
Awesome.
like, 2, 3 nights a week till midnight. We're going to make it happen, which is great. But yeah, so it's time. Our backs are against the wall, so it's time to grow. And so I'm looking at that kind of growth personally. Is probably where you want to go with that. And there's just a lot of, I mean, there's a laundry list of things I could start with, but one is getting back on track schedule wise. I would say that's probably the big thing. It's been off since production season began.
Mhm.
And then as soon as production season got over, it's like 2 weeks to recover. And then I went to Tulsa to be a contestant on the blocks. And then now it's still playing catch up from that. So,
A lot of irons in the fire.
yep.
Who you passing it to?
Amber.
It's funny. I almost know when they're going to pass it to me. I'm like, okay, it's my turn now. I was preparing for that. Yeah, well, like taking into account everything that happened this last month and all the things that I've been learning, and let's say the light that I finally shed on this challenge that I have, the growth that I'm really craving is actually organize things in a way that I feel great about, because everything is had its place, had its time, and that I know that I won't, be the last one in my to-do list. So yeah, that's the thing. I really want to organize my time in a way that I like makes me feel proud of myself, that I know that I'm tackling all of my things, doing all of my tasks, my job, everything, but also taking care of myself, of my health, and like writing and doing all of these things. So that's the thing, personal growth and accountability, like with myself. I know I'm very good with that. I usually don't need people to hold me accountable. I'm very good doing that for myself. But I guess I will have to see if actually I do need some kind of outside accountability for making all of these things happen. So that's the thing that I want to figure out, and then just move forward. Yeah. How about you, Jamie?
When I wrote this down at the beginning of the month, I wrote down just 3 bullets. One, I'm craving security. I'm craving consistency from myself. And I'm craving a deep knowing of where I'm going and why it matters. Um,
Ooh, deep ones.
yeah, I know. And I think of those 3, the one that is really stood out as the one I've decided to focus on is consistency. I made a commitment to myself to work out, and because I used to be pretty disciplined with that easily, like I just did. And I am on day 8, I think, in a row of a consistent workout, whether it's a run, a ruck, or strength training. So I'm pretty proud of that, because I feel so good when I just do the thing. I think it's even if it's like just just not giving up. It's like what you said, Amber. Like you choose yourself first. The workout is the thing I would throw away because I have too many things to do. And when I do the workout, not only do I feel amazing, I also am choosing myself first in that moment. And that has made a big impact on me. And also with social media, I've done like a Reels challenge where I post a reel every day and blech, sometimes. But I'm making myself do it because it's the consistency muscle I really want to grow right now in myself. So, Morgan.
So I guess the 3 things that I wrote down are my goal for Q2, because we're wrapping that up this month, is to sign 2 clients. I've signed 3. So my goal would be to sign 1 more. Um, grow the podcast, focus on that for this month because I really took a break on it last month. And then figure out slash work on, I've got all my classes that are recorded, and I've got my boot camp I've created, how to turn something that I've created that works into something that kind of sells itself evergreen. So that's where we'll dive into ads and figure that out. So kind of figuring out how to mingle all those without feeling like there's too much going on again. So which really the podcast builds on those 2. So really just getting back into the growth of the podcast for this next month.
Love it. And we're kind of coming at the top of the hour. I'd love to wrap this call with takeaways, whatever that looks like to you. What is something you're taking away from this conversation that you want to speak into the universe of YouTube right now? And who wants it?
Well, I think I will take this thing of being consistent with the things that we want to do. Like we all want to achieve something, so we have to be consistent on the steps that are going to follow for these, goals to actually be accomplished. So yeah, I will piggyback on that consistency thing that you were talking about, Jamie, and say that when we are consistent and do the things that we know we have to do, like regularly, we know that we will see results. So yeah, I'm staying consistent on me writing to myself in Telegram, for example. I'm doing that every single night. So, and if I fall off, no one will know, but I will, and that's more than enough for me. So that's my takeaway from today.
Love it. Who else wants
How
it?
about you, Scott?
I think probably one of the big takeaways for me today is paying attention to small details. I I looked up this morning, was okay, there's something else going on today. Yep, it's the shit show. And I thought we were gonna drive today, and so I planned a day around and definitely dropped the ball on my wonderful co-host. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, a little bit more of that. I mean, you guys all know me well enough to know that some of those details will get by me from time to time. And so that's obviously something when Amber talks about consistency, I mean, that's exactly it, right? So there's a big takeaway for me there. Probably my other takeaway, Jamie, when I looked over your questions is, we have in the past always talked about like wins, celebrating the small wins because we never take time to do it. But when I look over the questions that the three of you had talked about earlier in this program, um, there's a lot of stuff I can take away from the month of May. I think a lot of people like they get older and they struggle with the idea of turning 40. I'm here to tell you, I turned 40 in the month of May and I don't feel any goddamn different. Like I really feel like I probably didn't start hitting my peak till about my mid 30s, and I think I probably got another good 15 years of me before I start to slow down. So that's what I love, and I'm going to take that away.
Awesome.
40. Happy birthday. That's awesome. I'm almost there.
Amber, excuse me, Morgan.
Scott just really likes to call on you, Amber. We're gonna hot seat you. My biggest takeaway is just keep doing the boring stuff and it eventually pays off. Like whether it's in your health, like the more boring it is, the better it's going to be and the less you have to think about it and the more you can actually take on and move forward. So do it until it's boring and then don't stop, keep doing it.
That was my
My
whole
take
day yesterday. Thanks, Morgan.
My takeaway today is it's fun to because I do this journaling exercise pen to paper. So I'm literally revisiting what I said a few days ago, and it's crazy how you forget.
Yeah.
But the challenge I wrote down last month is the same challenge I am facing this month. And so I think my takeaway is we create patterns of consistency that may or may not serve us. And I think Amber was the one who was like, the awareness was key or something, that like just seeing it is so powerful. And so I love this. I love these conversations because we can have those moments of awareness that can take us into that level of growth next month. So I'm really looking forward to our chat next month. Yeah. So thank you for tuning in if you did tune in. And if not, this has been great to talk to the three of you guys. So yeah, we'll catch you guys we don't know when this will be. It will be sometime.
Sometime next month.
Next
You will
month.
see us again.
There will
Sometime
be a
next month.
whole new
Maybe we will let you
conversation.
know.
Yeah. And actually it'd be kind of fun to anyone want to volunteer live for the next leader?
So
I'll do the next one.
just out of curiosity, weren't we going to do this again like the end of June?
Did we already
One
put
more
it on the
time?
calendar?
No, I
I
don't think
thought
we
we
did
did.
yet.
Okay.
No, we
No.
could. Our schedules
So
were
why
crazy
are
enough.
we
We had to
asking
move
me?
this up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard Morgan say she's taking it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
We'll
yeah.
see you guys next time. Thank